Hello everyone, my name is Ellen Tisalek with my co-members and we will tackle about the basic subsurface flow in a steady state condition. Subsurface flow refers to the flow of water below the Earth's surface as part of the hydrologic cycle. So now, let us tackle about what is Darcy's law. Darcy's law is a mathematical statement which neatly summarizes several familiar properties that groundwater flowing in aquifers exhibit, including if there is no pressure gradient over a distance, no flow occur, then these are hydrostatic conditions. And if there is a pressure, then the flow will occur from high pressure towards low pressure, opposite the direction of increasing gradient. So Darcy's law defines the relationship between fluid flow through porous media and the driving hydraulic gradient. Specifically, it predicts the flow rate using hydraulic conductivity and cross-sectional area. So, Darcy's law was formulated by a French engineer, Henri Darcy, a geologist, in 1856. He found that the flow of water through the media of limestone is governed by the law. Henri Darcy, also known as the father of hydrology, He was born on June 10, 1803, and he died on February 3rd, 1856. So, here's our Darcy's law application. So, one application of Darcy's law is the flow water through an aquifer. Darcy's law with the conservation of mass equation as equivalent of the groundwater flow equation, being one of the basic relationship of hydrology. Darcy's law also applied to describe oil, gas, and water flow through petroleum reservoir. And here's are some limitations of Darcy's law. First, we have unsaturated and saturated flow. Second, flow in fractured rocks and granular media. Transient flow and steady state flow. Flow in aquifers and aquithards, and flow in homogeneous and heterogeneous systems.
So here's the Darcy's law equation. Darcy's law describes the relationship among the instantaneous discharge through porous medium and pressure drop at a distance. So it describes the flow of a fluid through a porous medium, and it is typically used in hydrology to understand how water moves through soil and rock layers. So the law can be expressed mathematically as Q is equal to negative K times A times delta H over delta L, where Q is the rate of water flow, K is the hydraulic conductivity, A is the column cross-section area, and delta H over delta L indicate as hydraulic gradient. And here we have the difference in head and length between the manometers, and we have here the cross-sectional area, and we have the inflowing and outflowing. Then this is the porous medium. In soil science,
Darcy's law is crucial for understanding water movement through soil, and it is applied to measure soil permeability and design efficient irrigation and drainage system. It manages soil water retention and movement, and it predicts contaminant transport and control soil erosion by quantifying the flow rate of water through soil using parameters like hydraulic conductivity, hydraulic head difference, and soil column length. Darcy's law helps in various practical applications such as optimizing irrigation schedules, preventing waterlogging, and mitigating groundwater contamination risk. So let's have sample number 1. A constant 20 mm of water is ponded on the surface of a 50 mm long saturated vertical sand column. What is the water flux from the bottom of the column if the saturated hydraulic conductivity is 50 mm per day? So we have here the figure. We have 20 mm of water and 50 mm of sand. So first is we need to define a convenience level and designated it as Z is equal to 0. So this is the convenience level at the bottom of the sand. Z is equal to 0. So, and then calculate the difference in hydraulic head across the soil length. So we have here H sub n is equal to plus Z, and so we have here 20 mm plus 50 mm, that will be 70 mm, and for the H sub out, so we don't have any value for this two, so automatically we put 0. And then with this data we can solve the difference in head. So delta H is equal to H sub n minus H sub out. So that will be 70 minus 0. So we have 70 mm. And next is calculate the hydraulic gradient. So we have here I is equal to alpha H over alpha Z. So we have alpha H is 70 mm and alpha Z is this one at the water. So if we have 50 mm, and you can get the value of 1.44, and then calculate calculate the flux. So J sub W is equal to negative K sub S times gradient, so where J sub W is the water flux density and the K sub S is the saturated hydraulic conductivity. So we have here the 50, copy the sign, 50 times 1.4 the hydraulic gradient 1.4, and that will be negative 50 mm per day. And with this we have the negative sign so that the flux is downward.
flux is downward. So let's have example number 2. The sand column from case A is now horizontally with 90 mm of water ponded on the left side and 20 mm on the right side. Find the water flux density and the volume of water collected at the outlet during 12 hours if the cross-sectional area at the column was 1000 mm squared. So here again our figure, we have head sub 1 is equal to 90 mm and the length of the sand is 50 mm and we have h sub 2 is equal to 20 mm. So our z is equal to 0. First is set the reference level. Z is equal to 0. This one, the tube, the manometer, from the manometer, that will be our Z is equal to 0, and the column inlet, this one x is equal to 0, that will be x is equal to 0, and then calculate the difference in hydraulic head across the soil length. So we have here again we have the head sub 1 is 90 mm plus 0. We don't have value in Z sub n because we level it at inlet by x is equal to 0. So we get 90 mm, and for h sub out, we have for the head sub 2 we have 20 mm, and same, we don't have value for the z sub out, so that will be 20 mm, and we can solve the difference in head. So delta S is equal to h sub n minus h sub out, so that will be 90 minus 20 mm. So we can get the value of again 70 mm. And next is calculate the hydraulic gradient. So I is equal to alpha h over alpha z, so that will be alpha h is 70 mm and alpha h is this one, 50 mm. So we can get 1.4 for the hydraulic gradient, and next is calculate the flux. So again, J sub W is the water flux density, and J sub W is equal to negative K sub S times gradient. So we can copy the sign, 50 times 1.4, and then we can get 70 mm day or 2.917 mm per hour. And the last is calculate the cumulative volume of flow. So we have J sub W is equal to V over 80. So derive that formula into V is equal to JW times A times T. So with that formula, we can get the V is equal to 1000 times 12 hours times the hydraulic gradient, 2.917. So we can get the value of 35004 mm³.
So next is groundwater flow in confined aquifer. So what is confined aquifer? Confined aquifer is a geologic formation, sediment, or rock that contains body of water trapped within sediment underneath the ground by at least one confining layer. So confined aquifer is a geologic formation, sediment, or rock so that contains body of water. So kani siya ang geologic formation, sediment, or rock. Kani siya ang land. Kani siya ang confining layer. Confining layer, well, kani siya ang confined aquifer. So, kung sa'yo na diri mo, ano po na siya diri confining layer, dayon mga katanang geologic formation, sediment, or rock. So, confined aquifer. A confined aquifer is an aquifer below the land surface that is saturated with water. Layers of impermeable materials are both above and below the aquifer, causing it to be under pressure so that when the aquifer is generated by a well, the water will rise above the top of the aquifer. So, confined aquifer, so of course, nadyan na siya sa ilalim sa yuta, ilalim sa land. So, ang katong geologic formation, sediment, rocks, ginatawag siya impermeable materials. So, kita mo sa picture, back na to. So, may siyang impermeable materials, kaya siya ang confined layer. Same ra siya diri sa ubos. So, ang example guys sa confined aquifer guys ay well, bomba, o natuyo ba niya? Kaya kuryente ra ilang gamit para ma-produce ang water gikan sa ilalom sa yuta. So, ma-generate ka sa well o tubig, of course, sa judge pressure. Of course, ma-rise up po siya padulong sa land. The groundwater in a confined aquifer is under pressure and will rise up inside a borehole drilled into the aquifer. So, of course, kung kabalo pa sa borehole, borehole is kato na siyang bangagod nga. Ibutang tong tubo, connect tong, yung makonect sa taas tong, uban kay katong kuryente ilang gamit, uban kay katong bomba gali. So kung mag-drill og water gikan sa borehole, of course, rise up ang tubig ug mag-cause og pressure. So katong the level to which the water is called the potentiometric surface. So katong water nga ni rise up siya sa tubo unsay height at or level, tinatawag siya og potentiometric surface. So an artesian flow is where water flows out of the borehole under natural pressure. So katong water nga nag-flow siya gikan sa ilalom without pumping or drilled kay tinatawag siya og artesian flow. So there are two types of confining layers. So aquitard layer and aquicloud. So aquitard layer, that is layer that slows but does not completely stops water from passing through. While ang aquicloud is layer that is impermeable or does not allow any amount of water to pass through. So aquitard, man siyang aquitard layer. Aquitard layer, so ang tubig nga nag-rise up or moagi dira is makaagi siya but dili siya paspas, slow siya. While ang aquicloud is nasa water pero dili maka-pass through ang water sa aquicloud nga layer. The next is, how does water find its way to fit in having a hard time to pass through confining layers? So most water finds its way to the aquifers through an unconfined area, usually much farther from where we'd like to put our well, and travels for hundreds or thousands of years through the sediment to where our well is. Of course, okay. So, nadiri atong well, no? So, much farther. Of course, ang water, nga gikan nga sa ulan, ma-find its way dyan na siya sa mga unconfined area para mato ang water sa tuang kaning confined aquifer, kani diri. Nga, kaning storage sa tubig. Nga, nadiri atong well. So, pero, it takes 4,000 years bago mabot ang tubig sa well. So, how confined aquifers recharge? So, confined aquifers may be replenished or recharged by rain or stream water infiltrating the rock at some considerable distance away from the confined aquifer. Groundwater in these aquifers can sometimes be thousands of years old. So, ang confined aquifers daw is replenished siya, mailisan or ma-recharge by rain or streams water nga gi-infiltrate. Pero, it takes thousands of years old bago siya makuhan, mailisan ito sa groundwater. So, the assumption of confined aquifer, so under steady state flow conditions, the groundwater level, piezometric level in the confined aquifer or water table in the unconfined aquifer remains constant with time. Steady groundwater flow occurs in an aquifer system, and the rate of groundwater recharge is equal to the rate of groundwater discharge. Consider that the recharge of the aquifer within the influence zone of the pump well equals the rate of discharge of the well, so that the drawdown remains stabilized and therefore steady state exists. The above equation is called equilibrium or Thiem's equation and is used to determine piezometric head at any point at a radial distance from the center of the well. Carrying the logic further, if the piezometric heads in two observations, we say H sub 1 and H sub 2 at 2 points R sub 1 and R sub 2 distance radially away respectively from the center of the pump well, are measured during the pumping test. Coefficients of permeability, which is the K, can be easily calculated. The formula can be written as follows. R sub 1 is greater than R sub 2. The above method is popularly called Thiem's method. So, this is a Thiem's equation now. Calculations of discharge. You can find aquifer using Thiem's formula for steady radial flow. For steady radial flow, the discharge through confined aquifer can be calculated from the formula. So, ano siyang formula guys? K was 2.303 Q log R over R sub W over 2 pi multiplied by N multiplied small h minus h sub 2. Big H sub 2. So, where K, coefficients of permeability, L is thickness of aquifer, RW radius of the well, T transmissibility of aquifer, plus K. Sorry. So, steady state radial flow to wells, Thiem equation. So, muna siya ang drawing. So, like formulas dire. 2Q equals 2 pi K times B times S sub 1 minus S sub 2 over Ln R sub 2 over R sub 1. And K equals Q S sub n R sub 2 over R sub 1 over 2 pi times B equals S sub 1 S sub 2. So, kani siya nga formula if Q kaya ang hindi pa ita. Pero parehas rin sila guys, i-derive rin sila. Na sample, there's sample problem. So, kani siya nga formula guys, i-kuhan ko siya, i-derive ra siya. So, the sample problem is, a well is fully penetrated into a 50 feet thick confined aquifer. Water is pumped out at steady rate of 500 gallons per minute until the following drawdown cone of depression is formed. The initial water level was 100 feet before pumping. Find the hydraulic conductivity feet per minute for the aquifer. So, mo ni siya ato ang drawing. Ay siya itong figure. So, mo ni siya itong solution. So, ato ang formula nga gamiton is Q equals to pi times P times H sub 1 minus H sub 2 over ln times R sub 1 minus R sub 2. So i-convert na to ni siya para makuha na to ng feet per minute. So, 500 gallons per minute times 0.13 feet cube per gallon is equals to 67 feet cube per minute. Then, kanina, i-apply na ito siya ng formula. Kuha na siya. So, 67 feet cube per minute equals 2 pi times T. Of course, ang unknown diri is ang T. So, 98 feet minus 80 feet. So, 98. Why 98 there? Because 100 minus 2 is equals to 98. 100 minus 20 is equals to 80. Mo na siya. Ato H sub 1 is 98 feet. Ang ato H sub 2 is 80 feet. Over ln, 400 feet divided by 40 feet. So, T is equals to 1.364 feet squared per minute. So, cancel na siya, feet. So, squared na lang nabilin, kaya cube na siya. T equals KB equals K equals T divided by B. So, since given naman siya ang T, so, kanya itong gamiton. If wala ang T, mo na siyang formula itong gamiton. Pero ang missing is K man, so, ang atong gigamit ng formula, and given ang T, kanya itong gamiton. So, K equals ang T, of course, kay 1.364 feet cube per minute divided by B. So, atong B is 50 feet. So, K equals 0.0273 feet per minute. So, mana ito siya itong answer, guys. So, why feet per minute na siya? So, feet squared man na siya, no? So, cancel lang isa ka feet. So, mabili mo lang dyan siya feet per minute.
Karon atong discuss ang groundwater flow in unconfined aquifer. So, what is unconfined aquifer? So, discuss na ito sa definition sa unconfined aquifer. So, ang confined aquifer is defined as a body of water formed from groundwater. So, it means it is a form of water nga na-infiltrate from the rain. So, rainwater runout and stream to this water table or upper surface open to the atmosphere. It can be problematic as the fluctuate under atmospheric pressure. And also, unconfined aquifers have clay, sand, and gravel layers. So, it means ang unconfined aquifer is not consistent of clay, sand, and gravel layers, which can complicate the process of dewatering an area where drilling or microtunneling is to be carried out. And also, unconfined are formed when groundwater or runout seep through the pores. So, because of the infiltration from the rain. The upper water surface of the aquifer or the water table is at atmospheric pressure. So, rises and falls and is more impacted by drought conditions than confined aquifers. So, it means from the word pressure, so, ang unconfined aquifer is nag-differ po siya about sa pressure. In that particular area, for example, if that particular area is have a high pressure, it means mas dako po ang discharge rate sa water. And if it is low pressure, then low po ang discharge rate. And also, unconfined aquifer can be found below the rivers and stream and consists of layers of sand, limestone, and gravel. So now proceed tayo sa uses sa water sa unconfined aquifer. So, the water from unconfined aquifers are mainly used for domestic and agricultural purposes. So, dako kay tabang ang unconfined aquifers because of this one, agricultural purposes. Like for example, sa mga basakan. Diba, ang pala is need sila of water, then magdigra ka og sa land surface para makakuha og water. Then, how is water released from unconfined aquifer? Unconfined aquifers release water from storage by means of drainage of the aquifer material pores. And since it rains, large quantities of water are released. So, So it means ang water ma-release siya through storage. And if maano siya, drain, then there's a lot of water nga ma-release po siya. Now proceed ta sa as you can see here, na illustration about sa unconfined aquifer. So, ang unconfined aquifers are usually closer to the Earth's surface than confined aquifers, and as such, they are impacted by drought condition and contamination. So, it means ang unconfined aquifers is mas dulo sa land surface. So, isa ipasabutan na. So, it means mas prone sila sa mga pollutant or something like nga na kay mas dulo sila sa land surface, which is sa mga human-made activities para din ang water nila, ang water quality is dili siya totally clear because of mas dulo sila sa land surface compared sa confined aquifer daw. Since this aquifer is close to the surface, it undertakes little pressure, which means the water in this aquifer is able to rise and fall. So as you can see here, ang water may rise because of having a high pressure. And diri, ang water ni paubos because of na siya low pressure. So now proceed ta diri. So as you can see sa illustration, so this one, the water table, and this is the unconfined aquifer. Then below the unconfined, gitawag din siya og confining bed. And also below the confining bed, it is called confined aquifer. So, the greater the pressure gradient through the slave formation material, the greater the discharge rate. So, if ang pressure nag-contain siya og high pressure, ang discharge rate po is mas dako. And if it is lowest, then the discharge rate also lowest. So the discharge rate of fluid will often be different through different formation materials or even through the same material in different direction. And if the same pressure gradient exists in both cases. Now proceed ta sa question nga pangutana. How unconfined aquifer recharge? So, yun sa daw pag recharge ang usa ka unconfined. So, typically, ang unconfined ma-recharge siya through infiltration of rainfall. Example, if muulan o kusog, then ang katong water from the rain, mupadulog sila sa land surface. Mato sila sa pores sa land, and then mato sila sa placements sa unconfined aquifer. But can also result from human activities such as irrigation of cropland. Unconfined aquifers are usually recharged by rain or stream, water infiltrating directly through the overlying soil. So now about naman kung paano mag-recharge ang usa ka unconfined. Recharge can occur via springs. So ang pangutana diri is how unconfined aquifers recharge. So, ang sagot is, recharge can occur via springs. Focus on recharge or safe diffuse recharge, and it can take place beneath surface water bodies like lake, stream, storage, or the ocean. So now proceed ta sa illustration. So ang illustration is nag-contain siya og duha ka aquifers, guys. So ang unconfined and also the confined. So as you can see here, this one, the placement of the recharge area. So if mag-rain or mag-snow, ang padulog sila sa water table. So this one, this is the placement of the recharge area. So this one, the land surface or the water table, and below that one, it is called the unconfined aquifer. So below that one, this one is the layer, or we call it as confining bed. And below the confining bed is we call it as confined aquifers. So as you can see, the direction of the flow of water, padulong sila sa stream, which is diri sila ma-recharge. And also So now proceed ta sa problem sa equation about sa unconfined, and we call it as Dupuy-Thiem equation. The Dupuy-Thiem equation is normally used to assess flow towards a pumping well in unconfined aquifers under steady state condition. The pressure head at the bottom of the tank along one axis can be measured to assess the flow profile every 0.1 meter between the well and the tank wall. So, the assumption of unconfined aquifer is the aquifer is pumped at a constant discharge rate. The well penetrates the entire saturated thickness of the aquifer. The gradient between the pumping well and the monitoring well is at steady state. So, this will be the formula sa unconfined aquifers about this one. About sa Dupuy-Thiem equation. So, ilang formula is H sub 1 squared minus H sub 2 squared is equal to 2.303 Q over pi times K, logarithm sub 10 R over R sub W, which is this one, where ang R is equal to 300 squared K, ang R is the radius of influence in meters, where the K is the coefficient of permeability in meter per second. The R sub W is the radius of the well. Ang S, or this one, the Q, is the draw down at well in meters. So this will be the figure of the unconfined aquifer or the Dupuy-Thiem equation. So we have here a sample problem. A tube well is 0.46 meter in diameter. The unconfined aquifer is of 18 meter depth. After drawdown depth of water is 12 meter in the well, permeability of soil is 24.50 meter per day. Radius of circle of influence is 275 meters. Calculate the discharge of the tube well. So this will be the figure of that problem. So ang height number 1 is 18 meter and the height number 2 is 12 meter. So this will be the figure of that sample problem. So this will be the solution, but I'm gonna show you the close solution later. So we have a sample problem about sa Dupuy-Thiem equation. So a tube well is 0.46 meter in diameter. The unconfined aquifer is 18 meter depth. After drawdown depth of water is 12 meter in the well. Permeability of soil is 24.50 meter per day. Radius of circle of influence is 275 meters. Calculated charge of the tube well. So this will be the figure of this sample problem. So ang ating first height is 18 meter. Ang kadua is 12 meter. So using this formula, which is ang R is the radius of influence in meter, ang K is coefficient of permeability in meter per second, ang R sub W is the radius of the well, ang Q is the drawdown of the well in meters. So given natin is ang K, ang value sa K is 24.50 meter per day. And then, ang R natin, or yung radius of influence in meter is 275 meters. So this one, this will be the R, or the radius of influence in meter. And then, ang R natin, or yung radius of the well is 0.23 meter. And then yung height number 1 natin is 18 meter. Ang ikadua is 12 meter. So this will be the given natin sa sample problem. So using this formula, but ang gipangita man good is ang Q, this one. So instead of using one, transfer natin, i-derive natin into this one, which is Q is equal to pi times K times height number 1 squared minus height number 2 squared over 2.33 rather, the logarithm 10, then R over R. So ano lang, substitute natin yung mga value on this formula. So input natin ang this one sa calcu, which is arrange natin, which is pi times 24.5, and then this one, which is ang height natin is 18 squared minus 12 squared. So this will be the height number 1 at saka height number 2 natin according to this figure. So ang answer is 180. So times natin ng 180, ganyan, and then copy this one. This is a standard value 2.23, then this one. So ang answer ani is logarithm 10, then 275 over 0.23 is 275 over 0.23 is
Balingin yung kuwan, Tupperware.
1195.65, or kung i-round up natin 1195.65. Ganyan guys. And then input natin this one sa calcu, which is 10 pi times natin sa 24.5 and then 180, ganyan, and then 2.23, then logarithm times natin sa logarithm, which is logarithm, then 1195.65. So ang answer natin is 195.4.77 then meter cube per day. So this will be the answer natin sa problem, which is ang discharge of the tube well. So ang answer natin is 194.797 meter cube per day. So now proceed na to sa discussion. Now proceed na sa confined aquifer versus unconfined aquifer. So this will be the conclusion of our topic. Mag-discuss ni Salon about sa confined, and also i-discuss na ko recently is about the unconfined aquifer. So now proceed ta kung sa conclusion na niya versus unconfined aquifer versus unconfined aquifer. So in the left side here, the parameters of comparison, and this will be the confined aquifer, and this will be the unconfined aquifer. So this will be the conclusion of between the two. Unconfined aquifer is, ang meaning niya is, it is a form of aquifers that happens to be surrounded by certain rock pieces. So ang confined aquifer guys is surrounded siya of mga certain rock pieces, while ang unconfined aquifer is comparatively exposed and not confined like a confined aquifer. So mas cool siya probably sa land surface, unlike sa confined nga from the word confined, na enclosed bitaw siya and also surrounded by certain rock pieces. So now proceed ta sa another name. Ang confined aquifer is, other name sa confined aquifer is verge aquifer, while ang unconfined is we call it as a water table or phreatic aquifer. So mo ni ang other name sa unconfined. So about naman sa close to land. So ang confined is it happens to be relatively distant from the surface. So mas layo siya sa land surface compared sa unconfined. While ang unconfined daw is it happens to be relatively close to the surface. So as we know, we have 3 layers sa earth, which is the crust, the mantle, and the core. So probably ang confined aquifer is ang placement niya is it must be on between the crust and the core, which is nasa sa mantle probably. So ang unconfined aquifer is probably nasa sa placement niya is nasa crust. So about naman sa depth, ang confined is it has more depth because mas layo siya sa land surface, so therefore mas lalim siya. So ang unconfined aquifer is it has less depth, so because of mas dull siya sa land surface, mas dull po siya. About naman sa water quality, so ang confined aquifer guys is ang water quality niya is the water present in this aquifer happen to be comparatively clean as there is very minimum fluctuation. So what does it mean guys? Ang water quality sa confined aquifer is mas limpyo siya compared sa unconfined because mas layo siya sa mga human-made activities, unlike sa unconfined nga yung placement is nara siya sa land surface. So the water present in this aquifer happen to be comparatively polluted at is very close to the pollution. So it means mas dililimpyo ang water sa unconfined because of the placement also. Kasi mas prone sila sa mga human-made activities like mga like for example, nag-conduct ang mga tao o ng paglabay og basura sa decomposition bitaw. So therefore, ang water na is dili kayo siya clear. Unlike sa confined nga na siya sa pinaka baba sa land. Then about naman sa nature of water sa confined aquifer guys. So the water in this aquifer happens to be very old and serves long-term uses. So ang water is mas madugay siya compared sa unconfined. Because of yun nga, ang unconfined is mas dull sa land surface compared on this aquifer. While ang unconfined aquifer is the water in this aquifer fluctuate a lot and therefore serve short-term uses only. So after siya ma-infiltrate because of the rain, so mukuan magyapon siya, ma-discharge rate siya po siya in short-term uses only. Unlike sa confined nga maaptan siya o dugay because nasa sa pinaka depth sa land. And that's all. So more na to ang conclusion about sa confined at saka sa unconfined aquifers.